Our reactions to Albert Pujols outperforming all expectations in his final home run derby.
The All-Star game is also tonight. What can we expect from the Cardinals tonight? Was Kershaw the right starter? And is Juan Soto a future Cardinal?
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into a Tuesday episode of Locked On Cardinals, Tuesday, the 19th of July for 2022. Thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen of the day, each and every day, Monday to Friday. I am Lucas Smith, along with me, JD Haffron. Was so close to a machine home run derby win, JD. However, he will have to settle for making it to the semifinals every single time he participates in the derby. He makes it out of the first round. That was fun last night.
Yeah, it was unexpected, to say the least. Most people, myself included, and you, were both pretty sure that Kyle Schwarber would, eliminate Albert early on. And it looked like that's what was going to happen in the first few swings. Remember, he had to take a timeout in, I think it was 54 seconds into the
I know,
actual
yeah.
first
We had
round.
3
And
home
we're
runs,
like,
one.
I think your first reaction to me was a text that said, yikes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then, of course, Albert turns things around as he normally does, and he ends up making everybody happy.
yeah, he got a couple of those good swings in. So we'll talk a little bit more about Pujols today in the Derby. Also going to talk about the All-Star game that is tonight. So you have 3 Cardinals in it now that Nolan Arenado is sitting out of the Derby, as well as we'll tease a little bit of later this week. Talk about more in depth about Juan Soto. But the Cardinals are actually pretty good favorites to win Juan Soto. So we'll discuss that
Yeah.
in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. But no, you mentioned it. Pujols did not get off to the best of starts last night at the Derby. I think when he called timeout, he had 1, maybe 2 home runs, and then he goes on a little bit of a run. I don't think he got the 30-second bonus. I don't think he hit a ball over 440 feet the entire
No,
night. But
no.
he hit more home runs than Kyle Schwarber did, which was kind of bizarre. And when it looks like, I don't know, when I think of Pujols' a swing, JD, I don't know if you're different than I am. I think of somebody who likes the ball down and in, somebody who could just drop the bat head. But it looks like he was having more success on pitches up in the zone last night, because we know that, we saw in Julio Rodriguez, those batting practice pitchers make a huge difference. And it looks like Pujols had a high zone, high hot zone last night.
Yeah, I mean, the idea in these derbies is to get as much backspin as you possibly can, and you got to get the ball in the air. So anytime you get topspin, the ball's just going to shoom and go straight into the wall or into the outfield. So it is very important. That was one thing I kind of paid attention a lot to, how the different pitchers were throwing their guys, and I felt really bad for Ronald Acuna Jr. His dude was all over the place, and obviously he didn't show out very well, like he did his best, but you could clearly tell he was a little upset at the end of his round, where he's like, dude, this guy's not even throwing strikes. Like, Acuna's swinging and missing at pitches in a home run derby, man. That's not supposed to happen. But yeah, Albert liked it up, and he would go on his little runs here and there. Obviously, a bit older than other people that were a part of this. The age discrepancy was crazy. So Pujols, okay, because I saw these stats. Oldest of the 7 hitters, Jose Ramirez was only 8 years old when Pujols hit his first major league home run in April of 2001. So he was the oldest of everybody else he was going up against. The youngest was Julio Rodriguez, who was only 98 days old when Albert hit that home run in 2001. So he got gassed a little bit early. We knew that was going to happen. We brought that up. We said, dude, he's going to get tired. It's going to happen. It just is what it is. And but he did his thing, man. And it was great to see, to watch him actually get by the first round.
I agree. I think that if he was only in the first round, it might have been a little bit more disappointing than anything else. I think that we all kind of thought, what did he get in the first round? 13? Yeah, he got 13 in the first round before the extra time, and ended up with 20. I think when he got 13, people kind of went on Twitter and said, good job, Albert, whatever. And I did too, admittedly so. Like, yeah, that was fun, whatever. Schwarber's going to hit 14 in about a minute and a half. And then as the time kept going on and on, I was like, he's not going to get there. Like
Mm-mm.
Philadelphia, like he's really not going to get there. And then obviously he doesn't get there right away. And as soon as he doesn't hit, as soon as he only gets 13, you see Albert kind of just laugh. And you see his kids kind of, joshing with him and saying, "You got to go back up there, Dad." All these different things. He almost looked like he was expecting to not make it out of the first round, and he was content
Yeah.
with that. And then you mentioned, he had to get back up, got to get back refocused, and here we go. And the minute swing off, or the minute of bonus time, however you want to word it, that was exciting to me. That was probably Albert at his best. He hit 7. What had to have been 7 home runs
7.
in
Yeah.
that minute swing off. That was exciting. I
Yeah.
mean, that was the best minute of the whole Derby for my money. Obviously just a little bit biased, but seeing Pujols go off in that minute, that to me was Albert being Albert, because he's still got some bat speed. People forget that.
Yeah. He needed a left-handed pitcher,
Right?
and then imagine how many he would have hit then. What were we thinking, Albert? He should have had a lefty up there, but yeah, he hits the 10 and he takes a breather, and I wonder if the moment where all of the players circled around him kind of motivated him even more, because remember, he was at 10 and then he sits down and everybody's like, "Oh yeah." And then he's waiting on that 30-second bonus time, and that's when all the players started coming around him. So
Right.
you had the NL All-Stars, including Juan Soto, comes over and they're like toweling him off and everybody's having fun with him. He's laughing. And then all of a sudden, all of the NL All-Stars come over, and then all the AL All-Stars come over. They all surround him and just kind of pay their respects and show their appreciation to the machine. And you could tell he was kind of choked up. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys are doing all this. This is silly." And then he's like, "All right, well, I guess I got to go hit some more." And maybe a little extra motivation for Albert, because he looked really good after that, and ends up knocking off Schwarber, who, I don't know what your opinion is. Did it seem like Schwarber was giving it his all in that first round to you, Lucas?
I really want to say yes. I really want to say Schwarber doing his best. I don't know, because when you think about I don't think the pitchers were that great he was getting either. So you could say that, and to everybody like saying that it was a bad Derby because of that, because of Schwarber, losing to Pujols in the first round. We could talk about whether it was a good home run Derby or not, because I think there's an argument that it wasn't that exciting outside of Pujols and Soto, and I can understand that argument. But to those that are saying he tanked it, I don't know. That just pessimistic to me. Like, was he giving his best effort? I don't know, right? Like, I understand that. I know that it didn't look great, right?
Yeah.
But it's a home run derby. If it's a home run derby of all things and scripted, then the home run derby is scripted. Like, so be it, right?
I don't think it was scripted, but I just watching, especially in that first set where Schwarber, we're getting close and he only needs 13 to tie. And it just seemed like he kind of took his foot off the pedal a little bit. It was like, all right, let's just kind of we'll ease back. And he just so happens to come up one short in the swing off. And I don't know. I'm like you. I want to believe he gave it his all, but maybe he just to be nice to the old guy, he let Albert move on to the second round, which was cool.
Well, I remember this question coming up in the 14 All-Star game when Adam Wainwright got the start that year. And it was Derek Jeter's last year, and he gave up a first inning double or a home run to Jeter. And people were saying, "Oh, he laid a fastball down the middle." I was like, and again, maybe people know Kyle Schwarber a little bit better than we know Adam Wainwright, but like in that instance, Wainwright did not lay a cookie cutter fastball on purpose, or whatever it was, sinker cutter to Jeter. That's not who Adam Wainwright is, right? But this one, being a derby, being Albert, a little different. I don't know. Well, what I do know is that Schwarber's little bow afterwards was hilarious. I love that. And it was really cool to see Pujols interact with everybody, because we see him interact with Cardinals every day, right? We see him laughing with Yachty. We see him laughing with Wainwright, mentoring guys like Juan Yepes, younger guys. We see him interacting there every day, right? I think sometimes I'm not to speak for you, JD, but I forget his impact to the game as a whole, not just to the Cardinal franchise. How everybody around him, Manny Machado said earlier this year that he's not getting the send-off he deserves. And he's probably right. More send-offs since Manny said that, right? We'll probably see a send-off in Toronto when the Cardinals play there next week. Every time it's the last time Albert plays there, we're probably going to see more of that now, right?
Yeah.
So even though in the second round, Juan Soto, the eventual champion, maybe future teammate, beat Albert Pujols, knocked him out, Even Soto, who did a huge bat flip at the end of round one, you could see him mellow out a little bit. He was excited. He beat it. Like he was, Juan Soto. He's a charismatic guy, right? But you could still see him do it in a little bit more of a respectful way. And I hate to sound like, an old person saying that, be respectful, don't bat flip. But you could definitely see Soto take a step back and realize who he just knocked out.
Yeah, you most certainly could. It was a lot of respect, and it's well deserved for Albert. It was great to see, and it was great to see it happen on the national stage. One thing I do want to point out, and you kind of mentioned it earlier, Pujols, although he didn't win a Derby in his 5 attempts, has never lost in the first round now, making the semifinals or the finals each and every time. So that's pretty cool. That's a cool little legacy that he leaves behind.
Also finishes, this will probably be obliterated very shortly, but he's second most all time in the home run derby in terms of cumulative home runs. I heard them say that on the broadcast. Second to Pete Alonso. And just a quick little note before we move on, JD. I think Pete Alonso took that way too seriously yesterday.
What do you think? You think meditating in between rounds of the home run derby is taking things too seriously?
At your bat. Oh my goodness! Like I get that he's won it twice, and I don't know. Cardinal Twitter was enjoying it because we don't like Pete Alonso very much for because he said he could put us in the hospital if he wanted to. But that aside,
whatever.
He's a nice guy.
We got Stubby Clapp.
Yeah.
Stubby Clapp owns Pete Alonso. Don't worry about him. No big deal.
Regardless, that was borderline comical. So I just want to end it on that note real quick. But first, headline should not be, takeaway should not be, we hate Pete Alonso. Takeaway should be, we love Albert Pujols, and the moments last night were special. Hopefully we have more special moments tonight in the All-Star game, and hopefully Pujols is involved of it. We'll see how manager Brian Snitker and Dave Roberts, who apparently has a huge hand in the lineups. I've heard people say that it wasn't Snit that made the lineup. I don't know. Hopefully they're able to find a way to either get Albert in at bat. Albert plays first and then is taken out middle of an inning, something, so he has his moment tonight. We'll talk about that coming up here in just a moment. But whether you are ready to pop the question or you're just wanting to celebrate a special milestone moment, you can get jewelry as unique as your special someone at BlueNile.com. Blue Nile has simple online tools that let you choose the diamond shape, size, and clarity, as well as the setting style. Blue Nile has bench jewelers that will then handcraft her perfect engagement ring. Each ring is one of a kind, just like your special someone. And if you're looking for fine jewelry but having trouble choosing, well, then you're just like me, and you need to use the jewelry experts that are on hand 24/7 at Blue Nile, available via the phone or chat to help you find a memorable gift at every single budget. Make your moment sparkle with BlueNile.com. And going on now is the Blue Nile anniversary sale. Save up to 40%. You heard me right. 40% on classic fine jewelry prices and 25% on engagement ring settings. So even if you're thinking about a year, I'll ask her to marry me, you can get a 25% discount now, get the ring, and be safe. Plus, every order is insured, chips free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Find your forever piece by going to BlueNile.com today. All-Star game in L.A. Chavez Ravine gets the All-Star game. First time in I don't know how long, but it's the NL versus the AL. Clayton Kershaw getting the start for the National League. Shane McClanahan getting the start for the American League. Let's start with Cardinal expectations, JD, and let's stick on Pujols because we'll talk about Helsley. Will he pitch? We'll talk about Goldie. He's obviously starting hitting cleanup. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. What do you think Dave Roberts, Brian Snitker, and company should do to get Pujols his moment tonight?
I guess you got to bring him in. I would say probably, I don't know, fourth inning, something like that. He can just pinch hit for William Contreras, and then he can just DH for a couple of innings. You don't really have to put him out in the field. I would prefer to save Albert's legs as just to be selfish as a Cardinals fan. I don't want him wearing himself out. I mean, he just had a big night at the Derby last night, so I would like to see him take it easy. But just to have him come up and get announced as the pinch hitter, now batting for the National League All-Stars, and you get his standing ovation. He can do the tip of the cap to everybody, and I think that would be perfect.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think maybe more for the moment, but obviously, the probably won't happen just because, like you said, they want to save his legs and things, and you'll probably want Freddie Freeman playing first base for you since plays for the Dodgers. But could be cool to get him an at bat at first base and then take him out in the middle of an inning. We've seen that happen many times. For instance, Derek Jeter did that whenever he exited the All-Star game. He was replaced defensively so he could walk off. But I think that regardless, whatever they decide to do for Pujols, he'll get his moment. Like, I don't worry about that, just because he deserves it. People can scoff at whatever they want to scoff at, whatever. But he deserves the moment on the national stage. He deserves the moment at the Midsummer Classic. He's been there plenty of times. Like I said, what he's done to this game, and for the players they're playing, they recognize it. Like that was clear last night too. We touched on it a little bit. It was clear that the players recognized what was going on, and the fans too. Whenever he was introduced in the pageantry that was that open with the fire that almost burned Ronald Acuna and scared
almost got a lot of people. Yeah, did they not warn them that there was going to be some pyro behind them? Did they not tell the players that was going to happen?
And again, this probably sounds like get off my lawn type of talk here. That was too long, and they should not have started that at 7:00. They should have started that at 6:30. Just saying. Ridiculous. Anyways, I get off my high horse. Pujols tonight will get his moment. But Goldschmidt getting the start tonight, JD. He'll be going up, obviously, against the best of the best. But good to see a Cardinal starter.
Oh, absolutely. Well-deserved for Goldie, who, as we've mentioned before, your front runner for the NL MVP so far this season, and just got his 300th home run. So he's got that, off his back now. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore because that was quite a while he hadn't actually gone yards. So all things pointed up for Goldie as we get into the second half. But, I'm hoping to see some good at-bats. Nothing more embarrassing than to watch your team, your players on your team, strike out and not do anything whatsoever. I mean, I realize that these are the best pitchers in the league, but you always want to see them at least get a single or get on base or do something. So hopefully Goldie can put the ball in play and do what he does best, man. He gets on base and puts good bat on ball.
I agree. And you mentioned the best pitchers in baseball. That means Ryan Helsley must be in any conversation when you're talking about best pitchers in baseball, at least this season. Microscopic ERA, all these different things and electric stuff. He will likely pitch tonight. The way I said, the pitch Friday, coming in that 7-3 game against the Cincinnati Reds on Friday, so he'll have plenty of rest. It's not, it's not like he pitched on Sunday. We know how Marmol doesn't like to use him too often, compactly, and all these managers know exactly what these pitchers can and cannot throw. There's a reason that pitchers were taken off or took themselves off, and they have a map of how this game's going to go pitching-wise, maybe more strictly than you would a normal game, right? Because you can kind of be a little bit more strict with it and just say, go do what you need to do, right? Like you said, you've said it many times, this game does not matter in terms of who wins or loses. Obviously, maybe being Cardinal people, you want to see the NL win for once, right? The AL historically has done a very nice job at this All-Star game, but maybe with the fact that the NL now has some DH experience in season, maybe they're able to use that DH to their advantage a little bit more, right? Hopefully Ryan Helsley can come in and pitch tonight. Do we see Miles Mikolas pitch as well? I think I failed to mention him earlier in the show that he was a replacement. I don't know. He pitched on Saturday, so maybe. Why would you replace a pitcher that can't pitch with a pitcher or that can't pitch again? Who knows? Maybe we'll see Mikolas and Helsley tonight.
Yeah, Miles, and just knowing him, he'd probably say, yeah, I can give you like 20 pitches. No big deal. And as you mentioned, all of these managers talk so that they can basically make a grid of how they can map things out for this game. Nobody's going to try to put anybody in danger. It's not like one of the managers can be like, you know what? The Cardinals are, we could face them in the playoffs. Let's throw Mikolas for 50 tonight. Screw them. Like, they're not going to do that. That's not what's going to happen. There's a gentleman's agreement here that everybody's going to look out for each other, make sure everybody's cool. So if Miles can give him an inning, I'm sure he'll be happy to jump in there. If he doesn't, so be it. But I would expect to see Helsley. I would most definitely will. He hasn't thrown since Friday night, and he should be well rested. So if he can come in there, throw 15 pitches, shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Yeah, you mentioned just the fact that Miles giving them 20 pitches. The way Mikolas has been pitching, that might give them 2 innings. Who knows how many, how long 20 pitches, will go for Miles Mikolas. But we'll see what happens. I know that there was some controversy. We talked about it yesterday a little bit of Kershaw getting the start over Stanley Alcantara. I kind of said my piece because it's pretty simple to me. Clayton Kershaw's been too good for too long not to get a start. I have zero problem with letting Kershaw start over Alcantara. You have anything different, or do you tend to agree on that point?
Not at all. It's an exhibition, and it's about the fans, and he's at home at Dodger Stadium. why wouldn't you let him start? I would feel the same way if it was in Miami for Sandy Alcantara. If the game was down there, I would like to see him starting. Okay, but this is a cool moment for Kershaw at home. He's in the back end of his career. Heck, we didn't even know if he was going to be on the Dodgers this year.
No,
and then here he is. So let him have his moment. I have no problems with this whatsoever. Sandy's got a long career ahead of him. He's probably going to get a chance to start again in an All-Star game sometime soon.
I would agree. When you think of All-Star games, you always think of fun moments. I think one of my funner moments in recent memory for the Cardinals would be Yadier Molina's home run in the
There you go.
I want to say 17 All-Star game when he hit the home run the opposite field. That was the same one when he took a selfie, or took a picture rather, of Nelson Cruz and Joe West. I think I'm getting these years right, but regardless, it was the home run. And it was to give the NL a lead in that game. Who gave or to tie it, and who gave up that game? Wade Davis, the only Cub on the roster that season. So there you go. It shows you what good a Cub is. You got any fun All-Star game memories?
One of mine was a comical moment, really. Randy Johnson toying with John Kruk and Larry Walker in separate All-Star games where he dangerously throws a pitch over both their heads in the All-Star game. In retrospect, very dangerous, but at the time, very, very funny. You see Kruk just bailing out the next couple swings, and then Walker puts on his, former Cardinal Larry Walker puts on his helmet backwards or something. Like it was silly.
Right-handed, yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun, and that's what I'm more interested in this game is that I just want to see the guys goofing off and having a good time, acting like kids again out there because it's an exhibition, so it doesn't mean anything, and you can do that. You can let your guard down a little bit and goof off some. So I'm hoping to see a lot of that tonight. That's what that would be cool.
I hope so too. Maybe they'll probably have players mic'd up throughout the whole night because again, this game with it not determining home field advantage for the World Series. You have the opportunity to be a little bit more loose with it. You can kind of talk to play all these different things. So I'm sure Goldschmidt will be a man of many words, as he always is. I'm sure they won't be able to get the microphone off him.
Yeah.
Did you see his interview with FS1 yesterday? It was the quickest interview ever. It's hilarious. He got
all one-word answers, probably.
Oh my gosh! And it was very concise to the point. I think Ortiz asked him about mechanics, and he goes, "Yeah." Basically, shortening his answer is like, "Yeah, I'm in the cage a lot." Is basically what he said, and and he elaborated just a little bit. It was hilarious. I loved it. But regardless, we're gonna have a lot of fun. And you know what else is fun, JD? Imagining that one of the best players in baseball might soon be a St. Louis Cardinals. And this is not just us just trying to be fans, just talking it into existence. We have data to back it up that it could be happening. That Juan Soto could be a Cardinal. We'll talk about it in just a minute.
Now, tonight, when you're watching the All-Star game, if you're like me, you like to snack while you're doing it. You get, a pizza or whatever. You like to snack, whatever it can be, chips, pretzels, whatever. And we know those things aren't good for you. So from the people who invented healthy and tasty comes the latest gift to your taste buds that you should probably be eating tonight if you're watching the All-Star game. And we're talking about Built Bar. You've probably tried the amazing coconut brownie chunk Built Bar, but guess what? Your friends at Built have given coconut brownie chunk the Puffs treatment. That's right, the coconut brownie chunk Built Bar flavor you love in a deliciously chewy marshmallow covered in 100% real chocolate. It's like a fluffy cloud of coconut brownie goodness. They're good for you too. That's the crazy part about it all. Low calorie, low sugar, high protein, and all delicious. Coconut brownie chunk puffs are only here for a limited time, so go to Built.com now and make sure you don't miss out. They're going to go fast because they taste amazing, and that's how things are these days. They just go, People would just buy them all up. So all Built Bars are made with collagen protein, which your body absorbs more efficiently and provides tons of health benefits. So eat something that tastes good and is good for you. Best part about the Built Puffs, of course, they taste amazing, but you can enjoy them guilt-free because they're good for you, made with, as I mentioned, the collagen protein, which your body absorbs more efficiently and provides tons of health benefits. They are the perfect treat when you've got a craving and you need to satisfy that sweet tooth. I don't know if you have one of those, Lucas, if you have a sweet tooth, but I was fine until I met my wife, and she's got a massive one, and it just kind of grew on me. So now I have a sweet tooth all the time, but you don't want to be naughty. You want to eat something that tastes good, but can also do some good things for you. So a quick, healthy snack. These are perfect for you. You get that protein, which helps repair cells and makes new ones. Also important for growth and development. So Get it while you can. Delicious coconut, rich, sweet brownie, creamy marshmallow. It can be yours. Go to Built.com to order your box of coconut brownie chunk Built Puffs right now. Use promo code LOCK15 and get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCK15 at Built.com now before they're all gone.
Over the last couple of days, JD, we've been teasing it, talking about it. You and I have been kind of texting back and forth, different packages of what it might be realistic to get Juan Soto. Juan Soto recently reportedly turning down $440 million, and probably was right to do so, because he's probably going to get $500 million. He's probably going to be baseball's first $500 million man. And deservedly so. We can talk about the money in sports and the contracts these people are saying no to on a different moral philosophy podcast. But in terms of what the market demands, Juan Soto is going to get $500 million. That's my guess, right? So with him saying no, go ahead, JD.
Yeah, it's certainly a possibility. One of the things that I thought that was that the Nationals made a mistake with this is, first off, he's 23. 15 years? Like, if I'm 23 years old, I'm not signing anything that's 15. Why would I want to lock myself into something like that when the salaries continuously go up? And the average salary that they were offering there, if you put it over the 15 years, was less than $30 million a year. Very, very profitable to people like me and you. But to them, I mean, Scherzer's making over $40 million. Okay, so that's where the bar is set. So you're coming in $13 million short on the average salary. I understand why Soto turned this down. So personally, I don't know if it's going to take $500 million to actually sign him. You could probably, if you gave this, just me talking out loud, if you did something like 5 years, $250 million, where you make him the highest paid player in baseball, and when he's 28, he can also jump to another free agent contract to make even more money as the salaries escalate. So he could do that, and he wouldn't be locked into the same place. Just some ideas of why he would have turned down such a massive contract.
You also got to look at the way the Nationals are trending. It's not super up. Yes, they got some prospects for the Scherzer and the Turner deal, obviously, last year, but maybe he wants to go somewhere that's a winner, right?
Yeah.
Cardinals are winners. So we got an email late last night from BetOnline, which is, I was up. I've been packing, moving, hence this, again, still low quality on audio and video, and I apologize. So I was up when I got this email like 2 o'clock in the morning, my time. Yeah. It was odds if Soto is traded. So these are not that he ends up with these teams, but if he's traded, the New York Mets are favorites at 4-1, which JD and I are not buying. He's not getting traded in division in season. That's just not happening, in my opinion. No. New York Yankees are then 5-1. San Francisco Giants are 11-2. The Dodgers, which I think that's pretty likely. Dodgers and Blue Jays are both 6-1. And then the Cardinals come in at 7-1 odds. They have better odds than the Mariners, the Red Sox, the Astros, Braves, Phillies, Padres, White Sox, and Angels. All those are all worse odds. But the Cardinals with 7-1 odds, JD, I mean, do I actually think it's going to happen? I don't know. But 7-1 odds make me think that I could put some money down and win some pretty good money that if he does go to St. Louis.
Just the fact that they're among those top teams makes me kind of hopeful that at least they're kicking the tires on him. And we got that report that they had talked to the Nationals about offense. It wasn't specific about what player. Me and you dismissed the fact that it could be Juan Soto. We're like, well, who else are you? We're like, okay, that's the Cardinals. We're not going to go after him. All right, who else are we looking at here? And then we started, browsing the roster, and you're like, there's really nobody else on that roster that's offensively going to help this team. Like, there's nobody else there. So it had to be Juan Soto. It had to be. I don't know who else they'd be going after. And you know what? You go and you look at some of the prospects and the guys that the Cardinals could put together in a package to land somebody like Juan Soto. I don't think that's the hardest part about this deal. I think they have the ammunition to put a deal together. It's the idea of trying to re-sign him, which is where when us paying attention to Cardinal management over the years, man, it seems like a lot of money for them to lock in. I know they've given money to Goldie and to Arenado, and they gave some money to Mikolas and stuff, but this is the next level of expenses when it comes to a contract. So that's where I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. But, it's fun to see their name up there amongst those teams that are a possibility of a place for Soto to go.
Yeah. At the bare minimum, you're right. It's fun to see the name up there. 7-1 odds. I like those odds at BetOnline. So if you want to go take a look at the other, they got plenty of odds for plenty of other things right now. The All-Star game tonight as well. Who might the MVP be? Does Albert get the MVP? Is it Goldie? I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen. What's your prediction tonight before we leave? Quick prediction on the All-Star game.
Well, the AL has won 8 years in a row, so I'm hoping the NL will get this one. The last MVP the NL had, buddy, do you have any idea who it was back in 2012?
Chipper Jones?
Melky Cabrera is the name you're looking for.
Right.
From
Wow.
the Giants. Yeah.
That would have taken me some time.
Remember that guy? Being
Man.
that it's at Dodger Stadium, I'm going to go with one of the Dodgers. Give me Trey Turner, and because he's on my fantasy team and he's having a hell of a season, so give me Trey Turner as your MVP.
I like it. I know that AL offense, man, is just stacked. You got Ohtani, Vlad, Judge, all these different things.
Scrubs. It's all about the NL tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll go NL too, though. You know what? I'll go NL, and I'll go Freeman as the MVP. I'll go. Freeman's getting hot. We saw it in St. Louis last week. I'll go NL takes the win, and I'm going to go one step further, JD. I think Ryan Helsley gets the save tonight.
There you go.
Freeman MVP, Helsley save, Goldie gets a knock, Pujols gets a standing ovation, and it's a good night for the NL.
All right. So, I'm on board with you, buddy. Give me Trey Turner in the NL. And real quick, happy 43rd birthday to Rick Ankiel, who's celebrating a birthday today. Cardinal legend.
I will also throw a personal birthday to my future brother-in-law, as well as my paternal grandmother. Both have birthdays today. So big birthday day on Locked On Cardinals. If you want to have a prediction for the All-Star game tonight, drop a comment in the YouTube section. You can also reach us on Twitter. He's at JD Sports Radio. I'm at LJ Fastball. Let us know where you're watching the All-Star game tonight, as well as who you think is going to win and who's going to be the MVP. We'll be back tomorrow with All-Star reaction. And tomorrow and Thursday, we're going to have some Juan Soto trade packages for you. So be sure to come back to see who we think the Cardinals can, should, might, won't give up.
We're wheeling and dealing.
Trade.
We're wheeling and dealing tomorrow.
We're going to put our GM hats on for just a little bit. So from JD's very spiffy tuxedo shirt and from my Locked On shirt, stay safe, stay well, everybody, and have a fantastic rest of your day.